This recording is for all the projectors that are out there. And if you're not familiar with this terminology, I invite you to go look up your human design, find out what your type is. Your type is the main way your energy is operating in the world, and the way that you're experiencing life is going to monumentally be illuminated as you understand your type. Projectors make up about 20% of the population, and I personally have a deep affinity for projectors. I personally find that their journey is one that I deeply resonate with wanting to support, right? I really feel like there are so many different people that need that, and yet I find that projectors are often very conditioned to be trying to be something they're not. I mean, we all have our version of that, and yet, especially when it comes to the workforce, there are a lot of projectors that are pretending to be able to keep up with the demand that is being asked of them or expected or expected from themselves. And there's a lot of inner conflict that I have witnessed with projectors trying to find what is their way in the world where 70% of the population has this battery pack like orientation to life, right? They're the ones that are predominantly generating life on a daily basis, here for satisfaction, and also experiencing immense frustration when they are using their energy. These are generators, using their energy in a way that is not lighting them up. And then we have projectors, where they're placing themselves in positions in their life where they're feeling unseen, they're feeling burnt out, they're feeling bitter, and they're feeling unrecognized. And so if you're a projector, one of the things that is your curriculum, if you will, in this lifetime is to learn how to utilize your energy most effectively, and how to also support others with how they can use their energy effectively through your great wisdom, through your perspective, through the frameworks, the tools, the understandings of life that have allowed you to be more in integrity with how you exist in this world. Something that I feel really passionate about when it comes to projectors is I believe that this 20% of the population, one of my theories is that if we have and when we have more projectors that are living in their zone of genius, being able to be seen and recognized and successful, which I'll talk about success in a moment, that their impact has the power to reorient a lot of generators, especially that are using their energy in a way that is depleting the life force on this planet. I often think of generators as life giving, life creating, life generating, literally. And yet, to me, there are so many generators that are disembodied, which is where so much of their power comes from, and disconnected from the earth, from the ultimate source of life force that we're all here connected to. And that's why, one of the many reasons, I think that is a byproduct of the type of world we are living in, where we're not keeping up with the resources and being able to distribute effectively and regeneratively, and in a way that allows energy to be utilized effectively. That's a simple version. And so I see the way the genius that projectors have is creating this efficiency, creating an understanding of how do we allow energy to move through life, whether it's a person or resources or what have you, in a way that creates balance, creates joy, creates satisfaction, creates ecosystems that are actually able to regenerate and sustain themselves. So coming into this piece of success, which is what projectors are ultimately here for, there's two words that you'll hear in human design: the not self and the signature. And the not self I think of as this like self-abandoned state, this place where we're in some way, shape, and form doing, being, showing up in ways that are not actually harmonious with who we are. It's not, doesn't mean you've done something wrong. In fact, there's really deep, I believe, importance for the moments where we find, for projectors, it's bitterness. For generator types, that includes manifesting generators, that can be frustration. For reflectors, that's disappointment. And for manifestors, that's anger. And this not self territory can be so profound in understanding the places where we get to course correct, where we get to see an indicator of something to pay attention to. I often say it's like when the gas light comes on when you're driving your car, you hopefully go and you fill your tank, right? There's not like, if you see how far you can go, we'll see how far you can go. But to really create a reconnection, create a energized moment with yourself, a reestablishment of that foundation, that energy, that alignment. It's really important that you notice these moments where like you're feeling bitter, where you're feeling frustration, where you're feeling disappointment or anger, because they are indicators and they reveal something, as something that I have discovered. The more I have paid attention to when disappointment is a listing, right? It's like, oh, that was a moment where I could have been more patient. That was a moment where I got caught up in another person's excitement, right? There's a lot of different things I could cover there, but for the sake of this conversation, that's the not self. And the signature, I find, is this affirmation of like, okay, I'm listening, I'm connecting, I'm tuning in, I'm following and staying my course, I'm staying in my lane. And I think that it's really important that we don't get lost in the good or bad, or I'm doing it right, I'm doing it wrong, because it's so much more than that. And yet, for me, the more I have been in this experiment of listening to and living my design, the more experience is a predominant part of my life, like overly predominant part of my life. And when I wasn't doing that, pre-learning about human design and very much in those early phases of learning what and how to listen to myself and my pace, disappointment, which is my not self as a reflector, was the monumental part of my life, overarching experience of my life, because I was constantly self-abandoning. I was constantly trying to be something I was not. I was constantly masking and feeling like there was something that was constantly taking me away from myself, right? We all have our versions of what that will look like. So with projectors, success is your signature. And just to cover, success is for projectors, satisfaction is for generator types, again, including manifesting generators, peace is for manifestors, and then success is for projectors. And I said surprises for reflectors. And I say that success is this distorted, bastardized word in our culture, especially in the Western world specifically. And so my invitation to projectors is always to check in. Like, what is your version of success? Not what you've seen success look like, although it might include some of those things, but what is your version? What are the moments that make you feel lit and seen? Less so like lit up like a generator, but like lit like people are seeing you, right? You're being recognized, you're being acknowledged, you're being appreciated for your perspectives, your gifts, your skills, the way that you're showing up in the world. And only you can define that for yourself. And so as you're going about your path, again, focusing on projectors, like what are the things that and ways you're showing up where you're feeling unrecognized, where you're feeling dismissed, whether it's people, places, environments, and just notice the impact on you. Again, I'm not saying that this is like something you need to take out of your path, but it's an indicator that it's something you may want to pay attention to. And then success, again, it can only be defined by you. And it's going to be subjective for every single person, because human design is the science of differentiation. So when we use these terms, success, satisfaction, peace, and surprise, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be unique to you and your life, and what actually creates that level of thriving and interconnection for you. So I'm really curious to hear in the comments, if you're a projector, what is that creates success for you? What are the moments? What are the ways? What are the understandings that you have? And if you're in another type, I would invite you to ask the projectors in your life what feels success to them, what feels like they're being seen, what allows them to feel recognized,